Welcome back to the PBC. It's your boy PB K9s bringing you that dog news and that dog talk fresh off the press the way I always do. Some gonna like it and some ain't. Big salute and big shout out to all my brothers and sisters that's taking care of these pets across the world. Like I always say, man, big thank you, big shout out to the brothers and sisters that's down in the chat and everybody that's watching and listening, no matter where you at on this earth. You know, let's get into this dog news for the day, man. And we got some dog talk as well, as we always do. First, give you this tragic incident that happened where a man was he lost his life dealing with the family pet. Another incident with the family pet gone bad, you know. So we're gonna listen to see what happened, or see can we come up with a conclusion on what happened if they don't tell us what happened in this situation here, man. And like I always say, condolences to everybody, family, people who loses their lives in these situations that we talk about. You know, so we gonna get into this, man. It's the first little bit of news. Like I always say, I hope everybody having a great day, no matter where you're watching this show at across this good old green earth. You know, hope everybody having a great day, great evening, or a great morning, starting your day off. You know. So let's just get into this first article, man. When this man lost his life to the family pet, you know, like I always say, these pets that we bring into our family, a lot of times they be grown. A lot of times we bring grown dogs into the family and they seem great for the first year, seem great for 2 years, but then something triggers them. Something triggers them maybe from their past. Like we always say, maybe from their past that you thought was gone. They just hit it good enough so you can adopt that dog out. You know, they just hit it and now it popped back up at the wrong time. You know, and not saying this is what happened in this particular situation, but that's just how it goes sometimes. But let's get into this situation, man, and you know, we'll speak about it when it's done.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 11 o'clock. I'm Brian Colleran.
And I'm Lauren Granada. An Essex, Vermont man is dead after police say he was killed by one of the family dogs this afternoon.
It happened at a home on Brigham Hill Road. Police were there for hours before the dog was removed from that house. Our Jackson Stover was at the scene. Jackson, you spoke with people that live nearby. They're shocked by this, but not surprised by what happened today.
Yeah, Brian, Lauren, I spoke with a number of residents tonight. Many of them have had multiple run-ins with these dogs, even going so far as to file police reports and taking the issue to their town select board. Barks and howls echoing across this Essex town neighborhood on Tuesday afternoon, after police say one of the dogs living at this house on Brigham Hill Road killed a male resident of the home.
I'm sorry.
The dog, which is described as a large pit bull, was removed from the home with the help of police. Neighbors say these beware signs scattered around the property aren't a joke, telling us that this particular dog doesn't play well with others, and that they don't walk by the house anymore after their own close calls. Multiple police reports have been filed with the Essex Police Department since January, with victims saying they were bit by this dog.
If you believe there wasn't any other person there to intervene, did you have any fear for your life?
Concerns about the canine's behavior were brought up at last month's town select board meeting on February 2nd, where bite victims testified, including this man who was bit by the dog while delivering to the house for Meals on Wheels.
He went right through that and grabbed me by the right forearm. We went down on the ground in the snow. As I tried to get up, he got the back of my left thigh.
The dog's owner was given conditions by the town at the meeting, requiring that this dog, who she calls Jack, be leashed at all times when outside and needed to wear a muzzle when off the property. The dog's owner says Jack was just being protective.
I don't know what's causing Jack to act like this other than he's being protective of the household, and I need to take the precautions I need to take to make sure that this never happens again.
Police tell NBC5 that this is still an active investigation, and anyone with information should give them a call. Now, we're expected to hear more from the Essex Police Department tomorrow morning, including the name of the man that was killed by this dog. Reporting in Essex, Jackson Stover, NBC5 News.
Now, if y'all looked at that dog, you know how we always do it. We look at the dog and we analyze the situation. You know, being that we know we don't have a real American Pitbull Terrier as the corporate, the one who did it, you know, being that we know we don't have a real American pit bull terrier, we can't really judge how this dog traits should be. You know, how this dog should be acting far as family, far as stress and all other kind of things. You know, we really can't give you a breakdown because there is no breakdown for the dogs that they classify as pit bulls. There's only one pit bull out of all of the pit bulls that has legitimate background trace on it. What I mean is the dog is not known to be aggressive to people. He's known to be a fighter. Yeah, you do get some of them that bite people, because we're gonna look at a couple of videos here. You know, you do get some that bite people, you know, but for the most part, they're not trained to go after people. You know, these dogs have been known to go out and fight a 2-hour battle and come back home and lay beside the kids. And even vice versa, laying beside the kids before he go out for the 2-hour battle. You know, that's the type of dogs these dogs is. Now, we know that because of years and years and years and years of breeding and people keeping these certain traits in and trying to get rid of the other traits and making sure they're keeping them family friendly, making sure they're keeping them people friendly and stuff like that, and breeding them. Not just 10 years worth of breeding, not just 15 years, 20 years worth of breeding. You know, we talking hundreds of years. So we know that these dogs, that the real pit bull, aren't made to be human aggressive, which some of them come human aggressive and take it up by other means. But I always say it, man. I always say it. When you crossing these Staffordshires to these kind of dogs, you crossing pit bulls to these kind of dogs, you trying to make these dogs, you trying to create these dogs. These dogs look good and they look pretty and they get you money. They do what they're supposed to do, make money. You know, some of them are great looking dogs. But the thing that you can't see is the temperament. Nobody cares about temperament because temperament don't sell your puppies most of the time. Because the people that you're dealing with in that particular group right there, they worrying about looks and maybe structure of the little structure that they have. You know, unless it's big dogs, maybe structure, but they not too much stressing the temperament. You know, band dogs and all them dogs. Yeah, they've been around for years, but these dogs have so many different dogs crossed into them that you can't. You just don't know how the temperament gonna be, and then the real pit bull get blamed. The first thing that anybody say that don't really know about the pit bulls, the first thing anybody will say is, "Oh, all this pure breeding and inbreeding," and it ain't that. Those are not the kind of dogs that's given this bad thing going over America with attacking people. You know, but they get the blame because of the people that really own pit bulls only call their dogs pit bulls and they don't call the rest of the dogs pit bulls. They say a bully, or XL, or pocket, or exotic, or designer, or however, you know, but they're not pit bulls. To the people that own pit bulls, that own real pit bulls. You see, at the end of the day, you know, it's just another sad situation, man. It may not be something you can even avoid because us as Americans, we love our pets, you know, so we're going to always have pets and try to bring a pet in the home, you know, and it don't even got to be a pit bull that make these type of moves or a pit bull like dog that makes these type of moves and actions. You can be adopting out a golden retriever or some other kind of dog and the same thing happen. You know, it's just the pit bull get the bad reputation because of being a ironclad dog, a brute dog, a dog of force, a gladiator dog, a fighting dog. It gets that bad reputation. But in actuality, until you start mixing all these other dogs in the pit bull is one of your friendliest dogs. You know, bred that way, and like I said, hundreds of years. The pit bull been in America long as anything else been in America. Outside of the people, you know. But the pit bull been here. We've been breeding it the same way Mr. Kobe was breeding it in 1900, and when he came 1890 something, and 1900 and 1910, the same way they was breeding it then, we still breeding it now. We didn't add nothing to it. We ain't do none of that. All we did was cross out different ones that we got. Oh, he got one for Mr. Kobe. Oh, he got one for Mr. Lightner. Oh, he got one for Mr. So-and-so. That's all we did, cross the different kind of pit bull, families of pit bulls. Not kind, but families, because kind means different breed. Different families. Families, what's a family? Your dogs take your last name, your kennel name. That's the Johnson dogs. These are so-and-so dogs. These them dogs. You know, that's what a family is. Not talking about modern day, but I'm speaking about the difference between the real American Pit Bull Terrier throughout hundreds of years of breeding and these other dogs when they only been bred 30 and some of them maybe 40 years at the most. 30 years. And when I say the blue dogs, you know, they've been around for a while. And it's 2026. So you got to give them going on 30 years at least. And I ain't talking about no black diluted blue Boudreaux dogs and nothing like that. I'm talking about the regular blue UKC Pit Bull Terrier or staff, whatever they would call it, but it looks like a Pit Bull Terrier. The blue one's been around going on at least 30 years because it's 2026, and I know I seen some blue ones back in the mid-90s. You know, myself with papers, not no 80 papers. They had AKs, UKC, or whatever, one of them kind of papers. You know, and it wasn't no bully breed dog. You know, so I mean, hey man, all I know is you got to be careful what kind of breeding you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful what kind of dogs you taking in. That's grown dogs from the dog pound. You know, you know, you just got to be careful, man, because you just imagine like this right here. What if the dog wasn't really abused at his first home, but they had to get rid of it because they couldn't take care of it? Now his animal shelter. What if he get abused at animal shelter? I done gave y'all plenty news articles where the animal people was locked up for abusing a dog. What if this person is stabbing and jabbing at the dog through the fence and picking at him, don't want to feed him like that, or don't walk him like he walked the rest of them, or do, you know, just giving him his ass to kiss at the animal shelter? You know, all these bad habits aren't made from the owners, the previous owners. Some of them come from the animal shelter once they get there. You know? So, I mean, and we seen that just off of the news article I just gave you when the 7-year-old boy got attacked by the dog that they only had for a week, and a dog that was supposed to be put down that same week because of his temperament. Somehow another leaked through the system, adopted out to a family who had no idea that this dog was a problem dog. You know? The dog act good enough just to get him on the chain and get him at your house and say, oh, you got you a nice pit bull. To the dog snap. Getting the most out your dog. You know, we're going to speak about that, you know, for a few minutes. You know, how to tell, or how do you tell if you're getting the most out your dog? You know, and before I get into that, I want to speak about our Scally man, you know, who was arrested for throwing his dog in the trash can. And he was caught on film, you know, and we got it on film, so you're going to get it first. PB K9s, Dog Talk and News, giving it to you. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. I appreciate all the brothers and sisters out there that be sending me videos, no matter, you know, what platform we on. I appreciate everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? That support the channel and, you know, just be here for that news, just be here for that dog talk, you know. Like I always say, man, if you got any questions, hit me up in the messenger or hit me up in the comments. If you want me to speak about a particular dog or a particular line or any particular subject when it comes to training or whatever, just let me know and give me some info on it, and I'm gonna come back with it.
Difficult to listen to. All right, now to Osceola County, a developing story. Deputies say a man treated this dog like trash before throwing it in a dumpster. Its life could not be saved.
West 2's Spencer Tracy's here. Spencer, deputies say video proves the man threw this dog in the trash himself.
This is really another hard story to watch. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office says this is one of those cases that really hit their deputies hard. In fact, they say several of them were ready to pitch in with their own money, and one deputy even offered to adopt the dog if he survived. Now, like I said, we want to warn you that the video we're about to show you is disturbing.
It's a call deputies say broke their hearts.
One of their workers had gone to throw trash in a dumpster and heard whining from an animal.
This surveillance video shows a man pulling up in a pickup truck in Kissimmee, taking his dog from the truck bed and throwing him into the dumpster.
It just broke the deputy and the sergeant's heart when they found this dog suffering tremendously in a box in this dumpster.
The dog, a 10-year-old Jack Russell mix named Max, was rushed to a vet. Veterinarians say Max's injuries were too severe, including a fractured skull and brain swelling, and he had to be put down. Deputies were hoping he would pull through.
So then, of course, we go into mode of who did this and why.
Investigators say they followed several leads, eventually tracking down the dog's owner, 79-year-old Victor Manuel Gadion Flores. He reportedly told deputies his dog tends to escape and found him injured.
He tried nothing. He said he was too busy to deal with it. And this is a family pet.
Deputies arrested Flores for aggravated animal cruelty, a third-degree felony.
To throw that dog in a dumpster in the condition to let him die. And this was his pet for 10 years.
And if convicted, the sheriff's office says he could also be added to Florida's new animal abuser registry, which would ban him from owning pets. Now, the sheriff's office wants this arrest to send a clear message that animal cruelty will not be tolerated.
Hey, when they got you red-handed throwing your dog in the trash can on camera, what can you really say, man? What can you really say? You know, but big shout out to all the brothers and sisters down in the chat that's watching. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, how do you know when your dog is in peak shape? Can a man look at a dog? Can you look at a dog? Is it possible to look at a dog and tell if he's in shape or not? That you can say, no, he's not in shape, or yes, he is. Can you do that just by looking at him? Anybody? You know? And what are the signs that you see in your dog that knows he's ready to go for the competition that you got him prepared for? You know? And I'm asking any brother, any sister, you know, some people, you know, me myself, and like I said, this is my opinion. This is not the total truth saying, oh, this is it. This is the way he thinks. Nah, this is just my opinion, you know. When it comes to them dogs, you know, an animal that can't talk, so you gotta, you know, pretty much do the talking for them. But when it comes to a dog, I think you can look at them, but I don't think any person can know if that dog is in tip-top shape unless they actually been the one working with that dog. You know, just by looking at a dog, it'll give you a false reading, making you think this dog is in shape just because he may be a little ripped up and skinny, you know, and ribs showing a little bit. And the dog, you know, probably don't, you know, in no kind of shape. But you'll look at it and just think that. So I don't think a person can just look at a dog and just say that. You can look at him and say, oh, he look ripped, or he look like he in shape. That's the key word. You can always say he looked like he in shape, you know, but you have to see him in action, or you had to been the one that did the working out with the dog to know if he's actually in shape or not, you know? And like I said, what are some things that you brother or you sister look for when you doing your dog, you working your dog, and you like, yeah, he's in tip top shape right now, you know? And is it even such a thing as tip top A+ shape? You know, is it all just a guess and just a hope when we work these dogs and condition these dogs, and you know, we have them where they running on the mill certain many hours? You know, is that all a figment of our imagination? And maybe he's just in better shape than maybe instead of being in tip top shape, he's just in better shape than the other dog today. You know. So like I said, what are some things you look for when it comes to your dog being in tip top shape? When you walk away and say, oh yeah, he ready. And like I said, just in my opinion, I don't think one can do it just off the eye alone. I think you're gonna always have the word look in front of it, or seems to be. He seemed to be in shape, or he look in shape, or he got some work in him. But too many times, all of us as dog men and women had done seen somebody said that dog look like he got a whole bunch of, he got some workout in him. He got some working in him. And the dog never left off the chain one time. Natural physique, naturally ripped up like that. So I don't think you can just look at a dog and tell if he in shape. So many people that can't work their dogs, can't condition their dogs to have them come down on weight and still be looking a certain kind of way. They know people talk it all the time, but they can't do it. So what they do is they starve their dogs out. Which mean, I don't mean they don't give them no food. They take the food back so far enough that it makes the dog look like they've been working them. You know, I done seen folk bring their dog 2 or 3 pounds in, 2 or 3 pounds lighter than the actual weight was to go in, just off the fact of not knowing how to condition a dog, feed him properly, and bring his weight down. You know, so I mean, hey, I think, you know, it's something, like I said, I'm asking brothers and sisters down in the chat, what do you look for in your dog? Some people might say the way he's breathing. Some people might say the you know, how the carburetor's pumping. Some people might say it's a certain weight they want them at. You know, some people say when they want the hind ass in, bones barely breaking the skin, and none of this, no kind of sink in the forehead. No kind of sink in the forehead. And when you get a sink in the forehead, it says too much weight off your dog. And that's just from other dog men. It's not from the book of Scientology when it comes to dogs. But that when your dog get that sink in the forehead, too much weight is off of them. You know? So, yeah, man. What do you look for? What do you look for, my brothers, my sisters? If I'm trying to get my dog right, I guess everybody's dog gonna be different. That's why I say you gotta pay attention to your dog, because you gotta know when he's at his peak or when he's up here. You know, if you know, everybody do they keep different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do they keep different. But if I'm doing a keep with one person and you doing a keep, let's say you got multiple people, it's going to be harder for you to process that keep with the right way with multiple people than it is for me with one person, you know, because of the simple fact, I'm paying attention to every single thing this dog do for 8 weeks versus multiple people. Everybody not going to read the information the same. Everybody not gonna read the information the same. You know, so when one person gonna feel like, oh, he he getting it in. He got it in this week. One of the other brothers gonna be like, we ain't working hard enough. Then one of the other brothers, he might feel like, he sees something with a dog stale, or he sees something with a dog ain't pushing out as much. And when one of the other people working it don't see it. But when that man who doing one dog, working one dog, one man working one dog, he can see the ups, the downs. When that dog start reaching his thresholds, he can tell when he making progress and when he just out there working, going backwards. He looked like he was stronger last week. He could tell all that. And me, I always say this, I never, and my way ain't the golden rule way you do it. This is my way of doing it. I never focused on muscles in my keep. I did a little weight pulling here and there, but I never focused on muscles. You know what I'm saying? I want to make a naturally strong dog. We're going to do our other workouts and different things we're going to do. But I wanted to make a naturally strong dog, and strength is not in muscles. Strength is in muscle. I don't mean, they got to be popping and bulging and ripped all up. I just mean that he got the muscle, the strength to do it. How many times you done seen the one who got the ripped muscles and all that can't lift what the brother who not as ripped as him can lift? Because he more stronger. He just don't look stronger. When this one over here is ripped up, but he weak. And it go just like that. So that's why I say you can't really look at a dog and tell he in shape. And you can't look at one and say he not in shape. Outside of him being obese or something like that, or being too big, too fat. But I'm talking about your regular sized dog. You have to, in my opinion, you have to wait till you either see him work or use the one working him. See, when it come to me with that treadmill, back in my days, to get a dog in tip-top shape, I'm running a couple hours when I'm done on the meal in my 8 weeks. I'm running over a few hours. I might not make it to 3, but I'd be getting 2 easy. By the time my 8 weeks over. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, every dog is different. You know what I'm saying? Every dog is different. My dogs that I had working in them programs and different things, they was not no dogs that were just sitting around lazy. So they was getting everyday exercise. That's why the brothers always say nothing's like road work, nothing's like walking. You can walk your dog. That's true to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Because walking is the best thing. The thing about walking is you cover so much ground without really knowing how much ground you cover. You might not even be walking a long stretch. You'll be taking zigzags and cutting corners and going up the street and cut another corner, but you covering on so much, so large of an area, and you stopping and you going and you stopping and he getting excited because he see a cat over here and he get excited over here and you stopping and you pacing and you going, And the thing people don't understand, that the difference between road work and treadmill work. See, you wouldn't believe how many people don't uphill, decline, incline, decline on a treadmill. Listen, since I've been a young buck, old schoolers schooled me on it. Downhill, uphill, and your regular. Before I was buying it, before I bought a dog trotter, because dog trotter had the fancy thing you can, and they got them now regular where you can just lift them up and down. But dog trotter, had it where I ain't had to use my brick no more, or my wood 2x4s and nothing like that no more to lift it up. Cause I make it incline, whatever I had to use, bricks. He had to lift it up. You don't want to go too far where he gonna fall off the back, but just lift it up slowly but surely. But he gonna have to be on the incline. Then you want him running on the decline. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be harder for him. It's gonna be harder for him. You don't have him running with his looking straight to the ground, but you have it with a slant to it. And all that works different muscles. You want to work your core muscles, you know, and in order to reach them core muscles, you got to do certain activities. You know, every activity is going to work certain muscles. So, I mean, you know, I had to get I wasn't big on weight pulling, but I understood that you can get muscles by flirt pulling. You can get your strength in flirt pulling. I still did my weight pulling. Don't get me wrong, I did my weight pulling, but I wasn't really the one that I don't like to keep the collar on them, the weight collar on them, the whole keep. A lot of people do, you know, and I done seen a lot of people be successful with it like that. You know, take the collar off on game day, and you know the dog feel lighter than what he normally is. So he feel like he can take that weight like that, and that could be true. But I just wasn't one on. I'm one on working them hard and letting them rest, getting his rest days. And a rest day includes the total dog from head to toe, no weights, no nothing. Let them rest. You know, that's the only way to build muscle. You know what I'm saying? You don't want it to be a mind thing. The way you want it to be a he can thing. See, when you take that collar off after he been keeping it on his body for the whole so and so. See, the thing is, you can't keep your dog weight up without taking that collar off of him. So he gonna have to have the collar off of him. You know, and then when you put it back on him, he understands that he has weight around his neck again. You know, you can't weigh the dog on a daily basis with a weighted collar. It must come off. And the moment you Velcro it off, the dog is smart enough to realize he don't have it on no more. Now you put it back on after you take him off the scale, he know he got it back on, and he understands that he's lifting weight. It's not a rest day. You know, now some brothers may take the weighted collar off on the rest day and let them, you know, chill or whatever. But me, I just use most of the time. I'll keep them tied up with a weighted collar for a little while, maybe an hour, maybe something like that. Take it off of them, or I'll flirt pole them with the weighted collar on them. You know, flirt pulling them with the weighted collar, and it's gonna have a majority of the weight in his front end. And you know, he gonna be working his shoulders and all kind of stuff, and working his back end as well. I do a lot of some jogging with the and road work, you know, with the weighted collar. You know, I've even put the weighted collar on them when I run them on the treadmill. But see, treadmilling with the weighted collar is nothing like road work with the weighted collar. You know, it's just different, man. The dog is standing up on a treadmill. But the thing about a treadmill, the dog can't collapse. The dog can't just collapse on the ground. You know, he's got that harness, and although that harness don't hold him up, it holds him up to an extent. Like I said, he can't just let his legs go and fall to the bottom of the treadmill, because the harness gonna hold him up. You know, and just that little bit of help standing up, just that little bit, is making that weight a little bit different when you're running on the road to when you're running on treadmill with that collar on. Now you're on the road with that collar on, you know, your dog can, he pushing that weight. He running with the weight. You know, everything is going the way it's supposed to go as far as muscle distribution. You know what I'm saying? It's doing what it's supposed to do because his body is stretching out and he's getting some good trouts in. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, when it comes to road work and treadmill, road work gonna always, in my opinion, be the best. You got uphill, downhill that you don't even recognize that you're going on sometimes. That you're just walking and you know you don't notice you went uphill, or you notice that the land is going downhill where you're going at in that particular area. You know, and it's like that. You walk up on sidewalks, you walk off sidewalks. You know, different terrain when you're doing road work, and it changes. You know, it changes frequently. You know, the dog learn how to pace himself 100% better while doing road work than doing treadmill work. You know, you gotta almost teach the dog how to pace himself on a treadmill Because you, as the man who running them, you got to know, like, okay, he done gave me so and so amount of hard pushing. You got to say, oh, I ain't gonna let him blow his engine out. You know what I'm saying? Let him slow up a little bit. Let him get himself together, because you know he been pushing hard. You know, and you don't. What we always say, you never let a dog quit while you practicing. Once you ever let a dog quit while you practicing, you just teaching them how to be a quitter. Whatever you practicing him in, you know, I don't care, from wall climbing to weight pulling. When you finish training, he needed to be still wanting to go and do some work. You know, even if he's tired, you don't want to train him to the point where he's stopping. Now it depends on how long this particular for him to stop took. You might needed to know that. This might not be the dog that you're looking for. Oh, like I said, I had a dog that I flirt pulled. 10, 15 minutes, he stopped. Now he's just looking at the flirt pole, won't chase it no more. And I told you, when took the dog out to play, he did exactly what he did while I was flirting poling him. Stop and look around. See, like I always say, them dogs be smart, man. The dog know what it took for me to get on the chain last time, what it took for me to stop doing this exercise because I didn't like this. When I don't like something, what it takes for me to get back on the chain so I can get me something to eat, something to drink, and just chill out. Them dogs be smart. All they want to do is get out of the situation. They know how to get out the situation because you done taught them that already in the past. That's why a dog that stopped, he can still be a champion, a grand champion, a 5-time winner, whatever, however you want to do it. But one thing you got to always keep in the back of your head is that he knows how to stop. So the thing you need to do, if you know he done stopped already, is you need to be an even better manager, coach man, from the corner man. You need to be even better, understand, don't let him get to that limit. And you can't expect a dog to give you, at least in my days, you couldn't expect a dog to give you all these hours in some hard working when you ain't conditioning. You only got them in the keep and you barely making an hour at the end of your 8 week. But like I said, that treadmill, it get kind of iffy when the person is walking their dogs, long walks. And even if they not riding on the bike, if a person is doing a lot of walking with their dogs, and I mean a lot, that treadmill get kind of iffy then. I can't say a dog that only runs on the treadmill for an hour is not in shape, when he's getting walked, 3 times more than that. And that dog walking, like I said, the dog, sometimes he runs further and walks further than he even imagined because he's just happy to be walking with you. He just wagging his tail, just happy to be walking with you. Not even keeping track of how far we done walked 5 miles already. You know what I'm saying? He just happy to be walking, and you just happy because he's walking like he happy because he's walking. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And y'all gonna be covered all that miles. And guess what? That bond is what makes the difference. That come on, boy. All that type of stuff is what makes the difference. When you need to get that edge out that dog, and he got to look you eye to eye. But the only way he gonna give you that extra edge if you know you truly down for him. You got to be truly down for him. Oh, and I want to speak about this before I get up out of here. Big shout out to the brother that asked me, you know, down in the comments, you asked me, are any of my dogs POR, you know? And I always tell brothers, man, you know, I don't know what kind of answers that you're looking for when it comes to this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? A POR or ROM, you know, I may joke about it or something like that, but at the end of the day, it's nobody in modern day time that can tell you that. You know what I'm saying? What's a producer of what? A producer of what, or a register of merit, you know? I don't know nothing about none of that life that you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? When we talk these old stories and this old stuff, that's the only thing I can tell you a POR officially. Because they kept records of all that stuff, you know? And in modern day time, even in the times like when I was still bulldogging and before I got, you know, my dogs took. You know, you're not keeping up with that. That's just a way to somebody to get you to say you got fighting dogs, or you selling dogs for fighting, or you holding and transporting dogs for fighting and all that type of stuff. That's why I tell y'all, man, you know, how can you call any of these dogs rum dogs and these kind of dogs in modern day time when you know how the game is? You get a champion here, a champion there, a champion here, champion there. None of them champions are the same dogs, you know. These brothers making fake champions on social media. Dog 4 or 5 time winner. How can you really know what's real and what's not? You know, end of the day, anybody can call their dog a poor dog. Anybody can call their dog a rum dog at this point. Knowing how I see how everybody moving, how everybody move. How can we say this is a rum dog or it's not a rum dog? Then what do we do to get in there and argue about it? What dogs you produce? Now you want somebody to call up people names and this and all. All I know is I breed hellified working dogs. You know what I'm saying? Working dogs for brothers that want to do the right things with these dogs. You know, if they the type of dogs that you can train. If you want to train dogs, you don't got to train them. If you want to take them and weight pull with them, you can do that. They'll do that. If you want to just have them as a pet, they'll do that. You want to go fishing with them, they'll do that. You want to take them hunting and they'll do all that. You know, them old family Southern Reds and them Walker Reds that Pelican Bay producing, they will hunt with you too. Now, I ain't bullshit. Duck hunting and all that. They good with guns. You know, you can take them out there if you know how to train your dog with guns from as a puppy. You just can't take him out there. He ain't never been around a gunshot and got him and will go shoot with 12 gauge or something beside him. You know, you got to train them for all that. But like I said, I'm making working dogs, and they will compete in the shows. You know. My working dogs will compete in the shows, but like I said before, every now and then you get dogs with, you know, when it comes, especially when you're dealing with the Mayday dogs, you get dogs that have your funny shape to them. What we call your drag car shape. Low in the front, high in the back. You know, some dogs have it worse than others. You know, I had one back in the days it wasn't directly off Mayday. You know, it was, matter of fact, it was, I want to say it was one of Luke Kane's sons. And inbred it somehow or another, line bred it or something. I don't even remember what the other side was. I want to say it might have been some damn Eli Chinaman shit. But I know it was Luke Kane. And he was shaped like a drag car. You know, low in the front, high in the back. And he kind of was I'm gonna say he might have been a late starter because he ain't make it in my camp. I sent him to another camp, and they kept him around for a little while, and he started ripping roots up and acting like he was crazy, and he did do something later on down the line, but he ain't make it in my camp. You know, yeah, man. Big shout out to all the brothers and sisters down in that chat, man. Everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening. Like I said, I was just asking, how do you know when your dog is in peak condition, tip-top shape? How do you know? And can anybody look at a dog, which, you know, I said what my opinion was, but tell me what your opinion is. Do you think you can look at a dog and tell if he's really in shape? And if he's not, if he's just been on the chain and just got a perfectly conformation, come from a family of perfect conformation dogs? Cause I clear, man, I had one over here off of Garner's Akuma, I want to say. It was off Akuma. And man, that joker was ripped up. I'm talking about he'd run on the chain. You know, he'd go back and forth on the chain, but not all day long like a Malinois. But he'd go back and forth on the chain. But when I tell you ripped up, he was a red nose. I forgot what his bottom side was. He wasn't all Garner's. He had something else on his bottom side. But man, he was ripped up, you know. But I take him off the chain and I take him to a show or something, you'll think he been worked. You know? And then sometimes, you know how they always say you take a dog off the chain and he come out and he gave you more than you did when you worked them? Because a lot of times we don't know what we're doing when we work these dogs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us brothers, I may be included in that, you know, as well throughout my days. You know, we all got to go through a situation where you don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But then at the end of the day, when you don't know what you're doing, the road work, it'll smooth all that shit out. You may not know what you're doing when it comes to treadmill this or certain things with this, but that road work, if you're doing that road work properly, you know what I'm saying? It'll smooth all that other shit out. You know, even if you ain't real fine on a flirt pole. See, that all you need is a flirt pole, really. A flirt pole, and you don't need nothing else outside of your road work, you know. I mean, you know, and like I say, everybody got different workout programs, you know. But like I said, some of us don't know what we're doing because that's why we got the saying that goes, some dogs come off that damn chain better than they did when they was conditioned. It wouldn't be no need for that saying if everybody knew what they was doing. Overworking the dog, underfeeding the dog, overfeeding the dog, over proteining the dog, you know, over supplementing them, you know, give them too many supplements. You know what I'm saying? Too much of this or too much of that. Not enough of this. You know? And like I said, man, when I'm speaking on how do you know your dog is on tip-top shape, you know, can a person, when you jabbing your dog with the roid, can you be in this conversation? Because is your dog actually in tip-top shape? Ask any brother and sister out there. Is your dog actually in tip-top shape when he's on the roids? Is it possible for a dog to be in this tip-top shape on steroids? Not saying it's not or it is or it's not. I'm asking, you know, give me an answer down in the chat, my brothers. We just trying to figure out, can we look at a dog and see if he's in tip-top shape? How do you look at your dog, you yourself personally, how do you look at your dog and tell that he's in tip-top shape? You know, he's ready for the go-go. Have you had an 8-week keep? Have you ever had an 8-week keep when you got into the 4th week? You like, oh man, my dog ready right now. He in tip-top. And you really felt better at the 4-week mark than you did when you got to the 8-week mark. You know, have you ever been in that situation? And all that means is your dog didn't need that much time to work, right? For one. And two, now that you've seen him at 4 weeks and you look at him at 8 weeks and he's not the same, you done staled him off. You know, you done overworked him. You done got him to the point where he's weaker than he was 4 weeks ago. And that's where we go back to the point where the dog that came straight off the chain went for 2 hours. They took that same dog and conditioned him. He couldn't go for 45 minutes. Now, there is one factor that plays in the part. Each dog that he competes with back in them days was a different dog. You know, one dog might work him harder than the next dog, so you really can't make them comparisons sometimes. You know, but we talking about in modern day time with something legitimate, doing legitimate stuff with your dogs and things like that. How do you know when your dog is in tip-top shape? And you just working them for nothing now. Or you're not working them for nothing. You making it worse on yourself. You making him look, he's not gonna look as good. He's not gonna look as fresh. And when we talking about working for a confirmation show, and when we talking about working for the old school box, it's two different things. When I'm saying that, two different things, listen what I'm about to tell you. Do we actually need 8 weeks to work for a confirmation show? You know, to have our dog looking prestige and looking the way he's supposed to be looking. Do we need 8 weeks? See, we need 8 weeks for back in the box days with the keeps, 6 to 8 weeks. You know, some dogs, some brothers can get it done a little bit quicker. You know, but 8 weeks is what your fighters, your boxers do. Now, you need that because you want to make sure you got the strength and the wind to last long as need to be lasted in that situation. But in this confirmation show, you just got to look a certain kind of way. So do you actually even need 8 weeks? 8 weeks might burn your dog out in that much time. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying, could 8 weeks be too much time for a man to be working a dog for a confirmation show? Like I said, to my brothers and sisters that compete in these shows on a regular, drop down and give me some answers down in the chat. You know, what's good timing for you to compete in a confirmation show, my brother or my sister? You know, what's it, 4 weeks you need to be comfortable, going in good and comfortable in a confirmation show, or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you know? And the thing is, a lot of these brothers, once you start competing, you don't really get another 8 weeks. You just go from competing to taking that same dog to another state, another city, going to another city. We talking week after week after week. You know, so you know, is it like, okay, I get my dog to looking a certain kind of way, and how do you maintain that look over your times going to the shows over and over? How do you maintain that same look on that same dog? You know, I'm asking brothers. One thing I will say, you know, just speaking right offhand, at the end of my workout program, I want my dog to be feeling strong when I grab him in my arms and stuff. I want him to feel hard body. You know what I'm saying? I want him to feel like a rock, not like actually looking like a rock, but just feel hard body. It's hard to explain. You know, it's something I just got to feel in a dog, you know, because some dogs I can brush against them and they just feel like a feather. They feel light, you know, but then you brush into some dogs, you can just, you know, they hard body. I need to feel that. I need to see excitement in them. You know what I'm saying? When I'm taking them out to go walking and different things, I need to see that excitement, jumping up and down on the chain, ready for me to come take them off the leash or something, or take them out the cage. You know, we need to be able to make these walks, and I'm a fast walker. I'm not a person to be out there, you know, trotting along. I walk pretty fast. I can cover a large, long distance, you know, pretty fast. And I know I just always been that way. And, you know, in order for the dog to keep up with me, he gonna have to be walking. You know, so I pretty much, you know, like I said, I like to walk my dog, see how he pulling, see how he acting. You know, and like I said, I can't tell he in tip-top shape with that. But the thing about knowing your dog is in tip-top shape or not, That's why I say you got to know your dog. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your dog. And the person that's just getting this grown dog and you going to work this dog for somebody. That's why I tell brothers, take pride in your own keeps, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to work your dog. Because see, okay, if I let you work my dog, I'm gonna let you work Sambo, right? Or Nitro, or one of them other ones I had. You don't know my dog's style. You don't know what my dog been through. You didn't see the limits to him, how much he was limited, or at times I thought he was gonna lose. You know, I seen all this stuff. I need to be the one to work him, to know when he's pushing hard enough and when he's not pushing hard enough, when I need to chill and when I need to put some more pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the one that had him in them situations before. I'm the only one that knows what he looks like when he about ready to go. You know? I'm the only one that knows what he looked like when this dog right here wasn't pushing hard enough. He about to finish him off fast in 5 or 10 minutes. He gonna take him out. So, you know, I would have needed to be the one to work my dog. See, in my keeps, back in my days, the same way I be down coaching my dog, coaching him through his, whatever he was going through. When I got down in my keep, I ain't talking about like the first day. I'm talking once it got down to them long distances on the treadmills and stuff like that. And I need them hours of work in, and he pacing himself, and then he getting that second wind, like I told you. Water. I keep buckets of water by my dog treadmill. You know what I'm saying? I keep buckets of water by my dog treadmills. I know I go to sport. When we go to long distance running, when we go to boxing, when we go to anything dealing with long distances, when it comes to sports, water is a must. You know, I don't sit there and let them gouge it down, but I make sure when he needs or she needs some, that she got the water right there. Get you a couple laps of water up and let's get back to working. You know? Couldn't you work harder on okay, you gonna work this your first week working at this job. You know? You may not be able to walk around with the water in your hand, but you're gonna be able to get you some water throughout that day. If you drinking water several times throughout the day, you're going to be a hell of a lot stronger at the end of the day than you just wait to drink water when you get off. And you done worked all day and you ain't drink no water and you just wait to get some water when you get off. Man, you're going to be screwed up, weak, and all kind of stuff. Now, by the end of the week, the person that was drinking water all day, then been working hard, he gave him a hard working week, a good hard working week. The one who wasn't drinking no water until they got off, he couldn't work as hard. You know? So at the end of the day, who gaining? Who gaining? The one who's working hard and finishing off the week the right way. You know? So, I mean, hey, man, like I said, it's two things I used to keep on a treadmill in my days. Is a fan, because we're in the South and it's hot. I never cared about no waiting for no wintertime. I tell you, I went from that era, waiting for the damn wintertime. That's when I knew this wasn't the dog game for me. I tell a lot of brothers, this dog game right here ain't the dog game I came up in. Y'all do too much damn talking and too much waiting on the damn wintertime. I ain't from that era. I'm from the get this shit sparked right fuck now era. You know? You want to wait on the keep, or you can do it right now, however you want to do it. Got something for all, whatever you got. That's the era I came from. You know what I'm saying? So 10 years ago, when the brothers talking about, man, let's wait the wintertime. I'm like, what? Wintertime? The hell they talking about? Motherfucker must got a dog from New York City or something. No, they want to wait the wintertime. Man, listen, like I said, ain't no way you going to make a yard full of champions when you wait in the wintertime to do all of them. Shit, you going to have one champion every 3 or 4 years. One champion every 3 or 4 years. Maybe 2 champions every 3 or 4 years. Shit. No, man. Your dog might come out. It's like Mike Tyson back in the days. You might come out and take one out in 5 minutes. I use the time if I need it. I got this young dog that I'm gonna take out, and he ain't even 2 years old yet. You know what I'm saying? And I take him out on his first time, and he run through the dog in 5 minutes. Boom, 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 bust him down, bam, 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 bam. Ain't even no scratches, no nothing. 5 minutes. You tell me I need to wait till wintertime? Nah, fuck that. I'm trying to find somebody right now before he get out of shape. Run it again. See, I'm talking about with a bulldog though, not this no one that you just fly by night and you just win in by luck. You know, we talking about a real motherfucking bulldog. Okay, you run me 30 minutes. My next one, you run me 30 minutes. I mean, it's leg scratches, whatever. I probably tell you like I said, my whole career with Bo, he probably was never 100% to the T. I'm talking about 100% to the T. And this the thing right here, right? The dog that I had throughout my life that worked the hardest, you know, when I say work the hardest, I mean when he flirt pole, and if he come past you on the flirt pole and his body hit your legs, you're going to get a bruise on it. He is a hard-working dog. I'm talking about full throttle. He was Jeep and Eli. Eli and some Jeep in him with some Eli stuff in him. And he maybe had some red boy or something in him. I ain't sure, but he was brown with a black mask. But hard as he worked, he wouldn't scratch one time. The only scratch he would do is the first scratch to come across to start it up with. You know, he'll do that one. But then when you put him between your legs, I don't care if it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, his ass gonna sit right there between your legs. You know, I'm telling you, I had him in a show one time, and I knew I had to win in the middle. I couldn't go to the scratching. This shit had to get over in the middle, because if it go to the scratching, I was gonna lose, no matter what scratch it was. If it came down to it, and dude had to make a handle, I had to make a handle. Oh shit, I lost. I already know that shit in my head. So my thing was try to win in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, he ain't turning. My dog shaking his ass up. But then, shit. My dog, one of the dogs turn or come out a hole or something so long, and have to break him up or whatever, or grab him out of hole, and that motherfucker ain't coming. I'm telling you, you know. And this is the thing, you know. That dog had a physique out of this world. He had a structure out of this world. He had one of them heads shaped like a shovel. You know what I'm saying? It had the pointed beak. I love them pointed beak dogs with the wide jaws and the muzzle come up to a sharp point, you know? And the thing is, like, he was perfect conformation. Looked it good. You probably would have thought he was a Mayday dog when you looked at him, but he was solid black in the muzzle and like dark red, brown color in the body. But you would think like that type of activity would carry over to his puppies and stuff like that. You know, I don't know myself. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't breed him just because of that myself. I'm not gonna say he wasn't never bred, because I think he was bred and I think he made some good dogs. You know what I'm saying? It just, me myself, I couldn't really breed him just off that strength right there. He had way better qualities. I done seen him break a dog leg before, you know? And I'm talking about break it in 3 spots. The person had to go take him to the vet and get him put together and get pins all through the dog leg. But it wouldn't scratch. And matter of fact, the day he broke that dog leg, he had just lost the match. He lost the match because he wouldn't scratch. And when we was picking him up, taking him off, the dogs got too close to each other as we taking them out, I done lost the match, and my dog grabbed his dog while it was in the air, grabbed his dog by the leg and shook him while both of us had our dogs in our arms. You know, he just reached out and grabbed a lucky grab and broke that motherfucking leg right then. Match was done over, but broke his damn leg. You know, so at the end of the day, he lost me the money. You know, and I couldn't brag about that. How can I brag about that when you just lost? I can see if we stopped and say, oh, let's stop it right now or whatever, and then we stopped it and nobody dog lost. But my dog had that loss. And now you inflicted damage, you know what I'm saying? But shit, that shit don't mean shit to me no more. You know? So I mean, hey man, like I said, how do you tell if your dog in tip-top peak shape? Can you tell? Can anybody else tell outside of the owner? You know, it'll be a lot of different answers out there, man. But like I said, y'all drop down in the chat, drop down in the comments. You know what I'm saying? What's the way that you tell that your dog that you got is in good shape? You know, and your dog being in shape, this answer could come from anybody. It could come from a person who not really into pit bulls the way we into it, but you like the breed, or you like the blanket term pit bull. You know, you might be just into them, and you know what it take, what your dog look like when he's or she's in tip-top shape. Your dog might just go jogging with you every morning. You know, and you might both of y'all may have started off with a little extra weight. And now, you know, you a little slimmer and the dog slimmer. So what do you look at to know your dog's in, he or she's in shape right now? It could be, some people may say it's just the way he act when you get around them. Is they joyful and playful and happy, and you know what I'm saying? So everybody have something different to say. Like I always say, man, that's the great thing about pit bulls. So many different kind of dogs, so many different kind of personalities, so many different kind of historians, so many different kind of every damn thing when it comes to the pit bull, and you can't ask for nothing less, because of the fact of the matter is there's so many varieties of this dog that automatically tells you it's gonna be some hellified shit going on here in this pit bull community. You know, Rottweilers, they all look like Rottweilers. Dobermans, they all look like Dobermans. Every damn breed it is, every breed you got, they look like the breed, except for the pit bull. We all got different kind of looking dogs. They all look different, this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way. You know? But yeah, man. But what I want y'all to check out real quick, you know, I want you to look at this video, you know, with these brothers recorded this girl getting bit by a pit bull. Now, and I want to say this dog is a pit bull. You know, I'm looking at the size of it. In my opinion, it looks to be a pit bull, but I can't really tell 100%. But it looks to be a pit bull. But that's needless to say. You know, look at this video and we'll speak about it when it's done.
Oh no! Yo! This is sick. Oh nah! Slam this out in the door. Oh my God! Slam the door! Slam the door! Oh my God! Yo, what the fuck? Oh nah! Nah, bro, don't get out! Don't get out! Don't get out! Please do not get out! Please do not get out! Slam that! Please do not get out! Yo, get him! Get him! Oh my God! He getting in the car! Yo, bro, what the fuck? Yo, please, don't get out of the car. Oh. Oh. Nah, God, what the fuck? Yo. Who dog is that? Yo, please. Yo, hit the dog. No way. Oh. Yo, hit the dog. No way. Oh my God, what the fuck? Oh! Yeah, slap the dog! Slap him! Yo. Nah, you gotta run that nigga over, bro.
Now, what I gotta say about that is, You know, none of us are superheroes, man. None of us are superheroes. But how can, I don't understand how, you know, and I mean, I see it. I can see it happening anytime. How people can record dogs attacking women and stuff like that, and you don't go out there and try to help them, man. You know, you ain't got to have no weapons. I mean, just you alone, you go out there screaming, hollering, kicking at the dog, do something to try to get the dog off the women. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense really, man, just to, you know, to record stuff sometime and have your male voice in the background and don't get out and try to help them people, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might have got bit, but it would have made the situation a little bit better, at least for her. You know? And the way that dog was attacking, man, any kid would have came in that area, they would have got attacked. You know, the way that dog was going after anybody, you know, jumping inside the car and all kind of stuff. See, where all the gangsters at? That's why I tell brothers, where all the gangsters at? Because they was in New York City, and there was a lot of people around. People was recording. People was over here doing this and doing that. Where all the gangsters at when they need to do some gangster shit? Go over there and stop that pit bull from attacking that woman. You know? That's gangster shit. But hey, man, like I said, you know, I just felt like somebody should have jumped out and helped them. You know what I'm saying? It was apparent you was gonna get bit if you go over there how the dog was on them. You know what I'm saying? And you could see the dog was pretty much clamping down every time, every chance he got. You know, every chance he got. One thing I will say is, I noticed about that dog. He stayed on the hand. You know, it makes me wonder, was he a dog that was being trained to bite them sleeves and stuff like that? You know, because he stayed on the hand. And even when he got the girl down, he was pulling her and shaking her, dragging her a little. He was doing it by the hand. He could have went and charged at her head or forehead or anything, her neck. But he stayed by the hand. It made me wonder, like I said, it made me wonder, was he ever in any type of training or anything like that before? You know, just for that fact. But yeah, man, I just think brother should have got out and helped the folk, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just can't see that happening like that. And nobody getting out there trying to stop it. You know, all these people walking around with all this shit in their damn cars. You ain't gotta pull out no gun. You can pull out one of them jackhammers, anything, man. Somebody road rage you, then you want to chase them down and shoot the car up and all kind of stuff. You want to chase them down and cuss them out and all kind of stuff and do this and do that. But I mean, everybody ain't the same. You know, you can't expect the same reaction from everybody, you know. Yeah, man, like I said, I appreciate y'all rocking with us today. You know, everybody that came in rocking today, man, big salute to the brother Paul J, Ken Lightning, Bradford A, big salute to brother Guy Colston, City Boy Kennels, Legion Fury, John Demery, Mr. 216, Union County out there, man. Big salute to my brother. Big salute, let's see, man, my brother James Nelson. Big salute to all the brothers out there holding it down, man. Big salute to the Texas Welder. I think that's what it say on the thing, man. I ain't sure, man. Big salute to you, though, dog. Big salute to everybody that been rocking me with the pups, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody enjoy their pups. Hey, all I'm gonna do on my side is make them hate their mama even more, make them hate their daddy even more. You know what I'm saying? And keep doing my thing. And all you gotta do is take care of your puppies, treat them right, and I'm gonna make sure that the value don't go down, that the value increase. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna have the daddy, the mama, the granddaddy, them doing things, and the brothers, them doing things. And shit, it just is what it is, man. And like I said, everybody who ever got a dog from me, if you need me to help you promote if you're doing the right things with your dogs now, you know, I gotta say that. You gotta be doing the right things with your dog. If you need me to help you promote anything, just holler at me. You know what I'm saying? I see when you shot with me and trust in me, you know, when it comes to these dogs, like I said, man, I don't got time to play no games. When you rock with me with these dogs, I rock with you back. You know what I'm saying? You might need to promote one of your litters. I ain't got no ends in on that. You ain't bred my dog. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it is what it is, man. You know, one back scratch the other. You know, I'll chill, man. So like I said, man, I appreciate everybody that's been rocking with the Bay. You know what I'm saying? I put a lot of hard work, sweat, work, and tears into trying to get them puppies out. You know, and get them out. The brothers healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it took a big toll on me this time. Like I said, I probably won't have no more puppies till the end of the year. At least to the end of the year. I may do a mile while breeding. You know what I'm saying? But you never know, man. You never know. You never damn know. I can't really say, but at this point right now, I'm not planning on doing no more breedings, you know, for a while. You know what I'm saying? I really got over my head on that last one. But I had to get caveman with it and buckle down and do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is, man. It is what it is out here. We just trying to take these working dogs and do what we supposed to do with them, man. Do what we supposed to do. And like I said, to the brother that asked me about the rum and the pour, man, I don't know, brother. You know what I'm saying? Can you tell me anybody dog that's pouring the rum dog right now? You know? I mean, hey, I don't know, man. All I know is Mellow Yellow is the most known Grand Champion yellow dog in the motherfucking America. Like I said, Mellow Yellow is the motherfucking most known Big John dog in America living right motherfucking now. Like I said. Yeah, I said that. I don't know about no POR, no ROM, no none of that shit, but I know what the hell I just said. Most known Walkamo and most known pure Grand Champion yellow dog. There's nothing but Red Boy Jocko in it from the time they made the breeding. You know? But all the other stuff, I don't know. I don't know, dog. You know what I'm saying? You know? Hey, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. My rum might don't mean what your rum mean. My RM don't mean what your RM mean. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know. But I tell you like this, dog. Like they say, a good bulldog is where you find it. Y'all remember, stay safe out there, stay legal out there. Get your copy of the Pitbull Encyclopedia. If you ain't got your copy yet, like I said before, you can order it from me or you can get it straight from Amazon. Either one. Either way you want to do it. You know, it got anything you want to know about pit bulls in it. You know, and I'm working on another one right now, part 2 of it. But this one got all kind of stuff. We talking about red noses, blue dogs. We talking about the pocket pits, the micro bullies. We talking about the how to condition a dog, worm a dog, all that different type of stuff. We talking about some of your favorite dogs throughout some of these dog conversations that we were speaking on. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I got something I'm gonna speak about on my live coming up. You know what I'm saying? When I drop my live, I'm gonna speak about that on that, but I ain't gonna say nothing about it right now because if anybody do a show about it, let them do a show after I speak about it. You know, I don't want to pick it back up, whatever they got to say about it. You know, but yeah, man, like I said, y'all have a great day, great evening. Stay legal, stay safe. Remember where you get it from first. PBC, Pelican Bay's Corner with your boy PB K9s, and I'm out.